Hello, Headley here. I'm going to get straight to the point. This is a video for Steve Carlson's 1000 subscribers thread. Steve's been around for about a year. I think he's brought he was a breath of fresh air when I first discovered him. Funny, knowledgeable, clearly loves the music, and I think self-deprecating as well. He doesn't take himself too seriously. I think his first video was called "My Record Collection's Rubbish" or something like that. Based on the idea that he was discovering new music and he realised how exciting the world outside your window that you're not necessarily listening to can be. And I think it's great that he's able to introduce us to music that we haven't perhaps heard of or seen before. So Steve, well-deserved 1,000 subscribers. Oh, well, you're going to be more by now, aren't you, by the time I've got around to this? I hope I've got this in time. It doesn't really matter if I haven't. It still exists, doesn't it? So Steve, top bloke, well done. Go-to records. Now, you said 5. I've just grabbed a handful, an armful. I'm going to go through them and not going to really say much about them. I think... and if anything that needs something saying about them, I'll say about them, but a lot of them will be known to people. So, let's get on with it. Okay, so number 1, Leonard Cohen, the songs of Leonard Cohen. My parents were huge Leonard Cohen fans, or at least my mother was. And in fact, this is probably her copy that I've half-inched. Yeah, let's look at the back of all the text. Isn't it wonderful? So yeah, Leonard Cohen remained a firm favourite, and that's, well, you can't go wrong with that. Beach Boys are a band I really enjoy, and I probably listen to Pet Sounds the most, but I'm aware that that's probably an obvious one. So I'm going to go with the Beach Boys' Love You, which is a very odd album, but really, 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 really cool. I really like it. It's Brian Wilson coming back after some time off, and really interesting stuff. If you haven't heard it, listen to it. Bowie... Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. Top. Tom Waits, big Tom Waits fan. I like both his sort of parts of his career, but I probably fell in love with the early stuff first. So this is The Heart of Saturday Night, which is, I just couldn't listen to this and listen to this and listen to this. Randy Newman. If I was to choose one Randy Newman, it would be this one, Good Old Boys. Great stuff, a kind of a concept album about the South and attitudes towards it and its attitudes. So really good record, that. Not going to say it, guilty pleasure. I did say it. Billy Joel, The Stranger, just impeccable singer-songwriter stuff. Big folky, as I said, grew up with things like Leonard Cohen and Donovan and Dylan and things like that, but my parents were probably best into sort of more traditional folk music, and this is Irish Heartbeat by Van Morrison and the Chieftains. If you have one Irish record, this is a great one to have. All the great tunes are on there. When I was about 16, I suppose, I discovered Prince. This is Sign of the Times. Can't go wrong with a double album as well. That'll keep you happy. About the same time, I had Nina Cherry. This is Raw Like Sushi. Great singles on here. Man-Child and what was the other one? Buffalo Stance, yes. And she looked so cool. And yeah, me and my dad shared a love of this. Paul Simon Graceland. Okay, so that was sort of more kind of American kind of stuff there. I know a couple of them weren't. A couple of them? Yeah. But more sort of traditional rock. Now let's get on to Elvis Costello. His debut album, My Aim Is True. Just an impeccable record. Probably my favourite record of all time, New Boots and Panties by Ian Dury. Not And the Blockheads, but yeah. I mean, I love that picture. I love his son Baxter there. It just looks so, both of them, they've got so much attitude. Great album cover, brilliant album. searching for the Young Soul Rebels, Dex's Midnight Runners. It's a shame in America that Dex's Midnight Runners are really only known for Come On Eileen. But this is an incredible record and everyone should own it. Listen to it every day. Beautiful stuff. Special's first album. Yeah, need I say more? UK Ska. Two-tone label. That's the American cover, isn't it? House Martins. London's Zill. It's a cross between nil and zilch. Nil. London nil, Hull 4. Good stuff. I should have put this with the special, shouldn't I? Funboy 3, their second album, Waiting. If only for the absolutely epic single, Our Lips Are Sealed. Far better than the Go-Go's version, which he co-wrote with one of the Go-Go's, I can't remember which it was. Love it. More folk, so we've got the Pogues, Red Roses for Me. I just realised this was we've got a couple of this is produced by Elvis Costello, as was the Specials album. And then yeah, Billy Bragg, one of my favourite artists of all time. It's his debut, which is I've got the Between the Wars single at the back as well. That's a little handy one. So as a go-to record, it's also got a single. So yeah, Life's Alright with Spy vs Spy, Billy Bragg. Okay, some world music now, because I do love my world music. This is the Four Brothers. Now, technically speaking, actually, I think this might be a compilation, but I'm not sure if the tracks were available in this country on other any albums. But great, great danceable music. More bluesy. We've got Ali Farka Touré, The River. Great Malian blues guitar player. Desert blues. If you like things like Tinariwen, this is very similar kind of style. And I picked this up on vinyl just recently, but it's been an album I've had on CD for years and I've adored. It's a kind of a go-to album for sort of just relaxing, and it's Amore Partundo. I think it's just called that. It's the one done for with the Buena Vista Social Club. Absolutely wonderful. Cuban jazz, just marvellous. Okay, so let's get on to some... I grew up as an indie kid. You know, don't have a problem with that. Do you? So we've got Wedding Present, George Best. Can't go wrong. Stone Roses' first album. I mean, seminal for me at that age anyway. Eight-Legged Groove Machine, The Wonder Stuff. The Lars' first album. Oh, only album, really. Cud Aquarius, Leeds band. Great sort of indie pop. And my beloved Dodgy, the Dodgy album. So, can't go wrong with those. All records that I listen to regularly, so real go-to. And I've probably got the CDs of all of them. And they're probably on my iPod and I play them in the car constantly. American indie stuff, so we've got Pixies Doolittle. Belly Star. I love those 4AD stuff. Now, then getting on to it, everyone knows I like a bit of country, so I'm always showing country, so I sort of show some sort of alternative country, Americana, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to get hung up over titles of genres or subgenres. Okay, we've got Blitzen Trapper. This is Fur. If you're not familiar with them, they're kind of like a modern The Band. That's really difficult to say. They're like a modern band. Well, they're a modern band, but they're like The Band if they were more modern. Yeah, very eclectic stuff, but this is a lovely sort of acousticy, folky country album. Giant Sand. This is Core of Enchantment. This is from the box set. That's the original cover. I had this on CD. Well, I have it on CD. Desert rock. Great stuff. Hal Gelb, absolute genius. I don't know why everyone goes on about the Gun Club. Giant Sand is where it's at. Spinning out of... so you got Hal Gelb, Snow Angel Like You. This is an album of songs he did with a gospel choir. And really, really good. If you haven't listened to it, listen to Hal Gelb's Snow Angel Like You. And connected to them, we've also got Calexico, The Black Light. Exceptional mariachi, imaginary soundtrack. Great cover as well. Yeah, sort of from sort of, think about New Mexico, things like that. That's a non sequitur, if ever I've heard one. The Handsome Family, Through the Trees. Absolutely essential for anyone interested in Americana or alternative country. Beautiful, beautiful record. Kelly Hogan. This is I Like to Keep Myself in Pain. I don't have, actually I prefer her first two albums, but I don't have those on vinyl. In fact, they would not been released on vinyl. So this is great. Wonderful voice, Kelly Hogan. Check out her voice. She sings a lot of backing with Nico Case, and quite frankly, I think she's got a better voice than Nico Case. Oh, last one. Super Suckers, Must Have Been High. Punk rock band, does country music. It's got Willie Nelson on it, phoning in some backing vocals on an answer machine or something. Absolutely cracking. One of those sort of records that got me into more traditional country, because it has a very traditional country sound to it. So there you go. Those are records I go to on a regular basis. So Steve, thank you very much for all your videos, all your work, all your getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. What's that about? Don't know. And thank you for suggesting this thread. It's been fun to pull out all these. I mean, they're always being pulled out, but it's nice to show them. So there you go. That's 12 minutes. That's quick for me. Right. Bye-bye, folks.